This is part 3 of a series of solo play sessions I'm doing playing Lovecraftesque 2nd edition. Okay, so for this chapter of Lovecraftesque, I am going to use the technology card. And here's what I've decided. I think that Paul is going on a breaking and entering job. This is all part of him trying to work his way into the Red Silks and get them to trust him. And he's going out with Wiggy, we already mentioned, this old hand NPC. And I think he should have a third person with him, which will be Mary Frey. Mary Frey is like a skinny little pickpocket type who just happens to be the person who's available, I guess. And they are going to break into one of the sites owned by Ethel Steeple, figuring that they might find something valuable in there. It's got an office, it's got a building site adjoining, so they're gonna break into there. They head over there just after, like, a relatively short while after the site has shut down, at the point where people will still be out in the pub. That there's still plenty of noise and distraction from any noises they might make getting in there. And I think they shimmy up a wall and go in through the window of the office. Inside, the office is pretty Spartan, I think. It has very plain walls, plain floors. It's got fine furniture, but it's very sort of functional. There's a sort of air of lack of humanity, just very anodyne, really dull inside. They quickly find the safe, and I think Wiggy, he's the one who's going to be cracking the safe. He knows what he's doing, and he heads straight over there and starts fiddling with it. And while he's doing that, Paul and Mary have a look around, and that is how they find this weird device. It's going to be black, like a black, mostly featureless box, but it's polyhedral. It's kind of like almost like a geodesic sort of a shape, and it's got more of those scratch marks on it. The carvings, whatever they are, on the sides of this black box. I guess it's the size of like a medium-sized book, square base, and it's sat on this table in one of the side offices. And I think, like Mary, I think she will run over to it and immediately start touching it. Because to her, this looks like almost like a really giant gemstone or something. It looks like it's got to be something valuable. And she starts to try and pick it up. It's quite heavy for her. And Paul can see the effort that she's taking to do that. But Paul immediately draws the mental connection with the obelisk. It looks like the obelisk. And so he's kind of almost frozen in indecision as he watches her do this. And as she does it, I think there's a kind of, as she touches it, there's a bit of a humming sound from the thing, the device, whatever it is. She lifts it up with some effort and says, "Come on, let's take this back to Wiggy." Paul looks unsure, but he knows he can't make a fuss about this. It would seem weird, and he's got to keep himself from really being noticed too much. He doesn't want to seem different from the others, so he kind of reluctantly helps her. He grabs this thing, carries it through to the other room where Wiggy has already got into this safe. He's grabbed a small amount of money. He's also, like, there are some tools and stuff that they've that are in a cupboard they grab together, and he doesn't really. Wiggy doesn't. He kind of looks at this thing and frowns and says, "What the hell's that?" But Mary just shrugs and says, "I don't know, but it looks like it's worth a lot." And I think we end the scene with the three of them going back out the way they came, carrying this weird device. Fears and rationalizations. I think I will go to Paul in his. He's got like a. Do you have a bed sit or a flat? I'm going to say he's got a bed sit, and he's sat kind of working on his notes from what he's learned so far. And he finds himself writing about the device and how he doesn't. It just doesn't look like any technology he's seen before. What is it? Why was it there? What could it possibly be used for? And why does a construction site have this weird thing there? It obviously reminds him of the obelisk. They're clearly up to something. Maybe there's some kind of new bit of secret technology that they're working on, something that he could write about. But if so, what's the obelisk? Why was that out front in plain sight where everyone could see it? It doesn't make any sense to him, and he feels deeply unsettled by it, but he can't really make head nor tail of it either. And again, at the end of the day, it's just kind of a weird box. And maybe he'll take it down to like somebody who can take things apart, like a clockmaker, something like that. He would see whether he can take it and get it looked at to try and figure out what it is. But for now, he's just going to have to sit on it and not let his feelings bother him. And leaping to conclusions, I mean, obviously this fits with my earlier conclusions quite well. I think this device is actually separate to the obelisk. It's obviously made of similar stuff. And now that I'm thinking about it, it seems obvious that the obelisk isn't human make. That probably should have been in my original conclusions. It's only just occurred to me. I think Ethel Steeple she must have found it somewhere. Maybe she's found like an ancient spaceship or something, and she's got a hold of this stuff from there. And so I think this, when you touch it, it kind of infects you and makes you more susceptible to the effects of the obelisks. And maybe it has other effects too. So it's all part of the same basic story that Ethel is using this technology to create a kind of slave workforce who will be compliant and do whatever she wants. Lovecraftesque is, as I'm recording this, is on Backerkit crowdfunding. We are raising money for a new edition of the game with all these lovely cards that you've seen, and it's going to be a box set. It will include this solo play mode that I'm playing at the moment. So if you are watching this before, if you're watching this on the 9th of November 2023 or earlier, I urge you to head on over to Backerkit and pledge to the game and help make it the best it can be. Thank you.